Hi, good morning, student. Today we are going to start the first topic of IGCSE Biology, and the title of this topic is Characteristics and Classification of Living Organisms, as you can see on the screen. So let me to show you the slide where you are going to find the 7 characteristics of life, and you will see that the first one, is the movement. What is movement? Movement, as an action by an organisms or the part of an organism causing a change of position or place. So this is we call as a movement. Now the second characteristics of life is respiration. Respiration, is the process in which the nutrients or the food is broken down and energy is obtained. And the third characteristics of life is sensitivity. What is sensitivity? It's a ability to detect and respond the change in the internal external environment. And the fourth characteristics is growth. What is growth? Growth as a permanent increase in size and dry mass. And the fifth characteristics is reproduction. What is reproduction? It's a process that makes more of the same kind of organisms. And this top characteristics of 7, is excretion. It is the removal of waste products of metabolism and substances in excess of requirement. Now last but not the least is nutrition. Nutrition, is the taking in of materials for energy, growth and development. So these are the 7 characteristics of life. Okay, if you just want to learn these 7 characteristics of life, you have to keep one name in your mind, that is Mrs. Green. You see here on the screen, Mrs. Green. M for movement, R for respiration, S for sensitivity, G for growth, R for reproduction, E for excretion, and N for nutrition. So these are the 7 characteristics of life. Now come to the next slide, concept and use of classification system. You know that all the living organisms have been classified into 5 kingdoms. Okay. But the smallest unit of the classification, is species. Now, what is a species? Species is a group of organisms that can produce a fertile offspring. Mean it's like group of similar type of organism in which organism can interbreed and they can produce a fertile offspring. Now, the system of classification, is the binomial system. What is the meaning of binomial? Bi means two and nomials means name. So two naming system. Actually, it is an internationally agreed system in which the scientific name of an organism is made up of two parts, showing the genus and the species. And it is important to classify organism, possible to identify those most at risk of extinctions, understand evolutionary relationship by studying the anatomy of different groups of vertebrates. So see here, each and every organism, has a specific name, that is a scientific name, and scientific name contains of two subname, that is the genus name and the species name. Genus name, is the first name, okay, and the species name is the second name. For example, the biological name of human being is Homo sapiens. So Homo means Homo is a genus name and sapien is the species name. Now, when we classify the organism, we just keep some characteristics in our mind. Specifically, we keep like the external characteristics, the study of the external characteristics called as morphology, and the study of the internal structure, internal parts called as the anatomy. Now here you see we also have to discuss the DNA. Okay, and based on the DNA we also classify organism. And another thing, is characteristics, the process of biological classification. Organisms which share a more recent ancestors, more closely related, have DNA-based sequence that are more similar than those that are only a distant ancestors. Means the organism which are having a close relationship, okay, they have some resemblance in the DNA base sequence, and those who are having a distant ancestors, they have less similarity. Now come to the next slide. Yes, see, feature of organisms, as we have discussed that we classify the organisms based on morphology, anatomy, also the DNA. Okay, so we also classify organism based on the cell. Okay, some cells have nucleus, some cells do not have the nucleus. Okay, some cells have chloroplast, cell wall, some cells do not have chloroplast or cell wall. Okay, so we are going to classify organism based on the characteristics. Now the whole life, or the all the living organism have been classified into 5 kingdoms. The first kingdom, as you can see on the screen, the plant kingdom. Now, what are the peculiar characteristics of the plant kingdom? Which organism are included, okay, into the plant kingdom? The first characteristics of those organism, is they are multicellular. Multicellular means the organism that contains more than one cells. Okay, and they have cell wall made up of the cellulose. Okay, contains chloroplast with photosynthetic pigment and make their own food by the process of photosynthesis. So these are the peculiar characteristics of kingdom plantae or plants. Okay, what are these characteristics? They are multicellular, they have cell wall, they have chloroplast, and they can prepare their own food by the process of photosynthesis. Another type of organism is are ferns, produces gametes but no seeds. Okay, and plants, also classified, into the flowering plants, and flowering plant, further divided into monocotyledon and dicotyledon. Now, what is the difference between monocotyledon and dicotyledon? See, if you are going to study the monocotyledon, you will see that the leaf shape, is long and narrow, but the dicotyledon leaves, you will see the broad. You see, this is the monocotyledon, and this one is the dicotyledon leaves. And leaf veins, in the monocotyledon, the leaf veins are parallel, as you can see here, and dicotyledon, the leaf veins are branch. And monocotyledon, only one cotyledon is there, and dicotyledon, two cotyledons are there. Okay, now if you are going to classify the animal kingdoms, okay, so before classifying, it seems convenient that we should know what are the peculiar characteristics of the kingdom animals. So see here, these organisms are multicellular organisms. Okay, they contain more than one cells. No cell wall or chloroplast. Mean if you are going to study the cell, you will see that there is no cell wall, there is no chloroplast. Okay, and the example you can see here: ciliatrates, flatworm, nematodes, worm, annelids, arthropod, mollusk, echinoderms, and vertebrates. Now, if you are going to study the invertebrate, okay, specifically like the arthropods, so you will see that arthropod has 4 classes. Now, what are their names and what are their peculiar characteristics? So, see here the class Insecta or insects, and you see here the example is dragonfly and wasps. Okay, what are the peculiar characteristics of class insects? They have 3 pairs of jointed legs. They have 3 pairs of jointed legs, and body can be divided into 3 parts: that head, thorax, and abdomen. And 1 pair of antennae is there, 1 pair of compound eye is there. Usually 2 pairs of wings are there. These are the peculiar characteristics of insects. Okay, now arachnid, the example is spider or mites. Is arachnid, they have 4 pairs of jointed legs. 4 pairs means 8 legs are there, and body divided into cephalothorax and abdomen, means body divided into 2 parts. And here you see the eyes, they have several pairs of simple eyes, they don't have the compound eyes. And you see here chelicerates for biting and poisoning prey. Now, crustacea or crustacean, the example is cod or wood ross. Okay, so here how many pairs of legs are there? 5 or more pairs of jointed legs are there. Okay, and body divide into cephalothorax and abdomen, and two pair of antennae is there, one pair of compound eyes. Is exoskeleton often calcified to form a carapace. There are two type of skeleton. One is a exoskeleton, another is endoskeleton. In human being, mostly endoskeleton is there. Okay, so but like in some crustaceans, okay, they have exoskeleton. For example, if you are going to study the shrimps and crabs, okay, so the hard part is uh, the outer part. Okay, so now the last but not the least, is the myriapod class, and the example, is centipedes and millipedes. How many pairs of legs? If you are going to study, like the centipedes, okay, cent mean 100, milli means 1000. So see, 10 or more pairs of jointly legs are there. Okay, and body not obviously divided into thorax and abdomen. You cannot differentiate which one is thorax and which one is abdomen. Okay, and one pair of antennae is there and simple eyes are there. Now we are going to discuss the five classes of vertebrates. Okay, so five classes you see here. The name, the first class name, is fish. Okay, amphibians, reptiles, birds, and mammals. Now see the example, for example, fish, herring, perch, and shark, different type of fish. You can, if you just go to the fish market, you can see a variety of fish, and you can also study the characteristics, okay, that I'm going to tell you today. See here, for example, like, the body covering means the scales are found on their skins. They have fins for the movement or balancing of the body. Reproduction, yes, produce jelly covered eggs in water. Mean they like lay eggs in water, and their eggs have a jelly like substance. Okay, and sense organ, yes, eyes, no ears, lateral lines along body for detection vibration in water. And other detail you see here, they are cold-blooded. Cold-blooded means their body temperature same as the environment. Okay, gills are there for breathing. So these are the peculiar characteristics of fish. Now come to the amphibians. What are amphibians? See here the example, frog, toads, and newts. See, when you are going to study the characteristics, keep the name of organism in your mind. Okay, for example, frog, you see the skin, is moist. Okay, and four limbs, back feet, for swimming. Produce jelly covered eggs in water, and they have eyes and ears. They also cold-blooded, lungs and skin for breathing. Now the third class of vertebrate are like the reptiles. You can see the example, lizard and snake. Okay, they have a dry skin with scales. Okay, and four legs apart from the snakes. Produce eggs with a rubbery waterproof shells laid on land, and they have eyes, ears, okay, cold-blooded, lungs for breathing. Now birds, the example of birds, robin and pigeons. You can also write down some other example of birds. Okay, and what are the peculiar characteristics? See, they have feathers with scales on their body, and they have two wings, two legs, produce the eggs with a hard shells laid on land. And they also have eyes, ears, okay, and warm-blooded. Warm-blooded means their body temperature, is to be maintained. Their body temperature is different from the environment temperature. And they have lungs for breathing. And the last class of vertebrate are mammals. See here the characteristics of mammal. They have hair, fur, or whiskers on their body. They have four limbs, produce livian, means they don't lay eggs. Okay, they give birth. Another, sense organs are there, that is eyes, ears, with pinna, warm-blooded, lungs for breathing. Female have mammary glands. So these are the five classes of vertebrates, and these are the distinguished characteristics of these five classes. Okay, so sometime you're asked, like, what is the similarity? So similarity you can also find in the same table, and differences you can find from the same table. Now come to the next topic. See here, vertebrates are animal which have vertebral column called the spinal column or just a spine and consists of chain cylindrical bones joined end to end. Phycotherms, variable temperature means cold-blooded. For example, like the fish, okay, amphibians and reptiles, they are cold-blooded. And homothermic, that is constant temperature, means warm-blooded, means they have the capability to maintain their body temperature. Now, fungus, or fungi, the kingdom fungi, fungus, they made up of thread-like hyphae rather than cells. Okay, if you are going to study like their body, it's like a hyphae. Okay, so hyphae is there, and then like the root-like structure is there, which is we call as the mycelium. Okay, and many nuclei distributed throughout the cytoplasm in their hyphae. Mushroom, toads, puff balls, brackets, fungi that grow on tree trunk. Mold fungi which grow on stale bread, cheese, fruits, and other food. The yeast are single-celled fungi. Yeast are single-celled fungi. Next one, is kingdom prokaryote. Okay, prokaryote kingdom. In prokaryote kingdom, we keep all sort of bacteria. Okay, so bacteria and the blue-green algae, they consist of single cell, different to other single cell organism because their chromosomes are not organized into the nucleus. Okay, means in simple words, they do not have the organized nucleus. Okay, their genetic material, is dispersed, okay, in the cytoplasm. Okay, and also they have like the circular form of genetic material, which is called as the plasmid. See, plasmid, a ring of DNA basically. Okay, cell wall are made of cellulose, but of the complex mixture of protein, sugar, and lipids. Okay, so cell wall are made up of cellulose, okay, but of a complex mixture of protein, sugar, and lipids. Some bacteria have a slime capsule outer layer, their cell wall, and cytoplasm may contain granules of glycogens, lipids, and other food reserves. Each bacterial cells contain a single chromosome consisting of a circular strand of DNA. The chromosome is not enclosed in a nuclear membrane, but it is coiled up to occupy part of the cell. Now here, let me tell you something. The cell wall, the cell wall of plant, is made up of cellulose, but the bacterial cell wall is made up of peptidoglycan. Okay, peptidoglycan. And this cell wall, is different from the plant cell wall because plant cell wall is made up of cellulose and fungal cell wall is made up of chitin, but bacterial cell wall is made up of peptidoglycan. And you can see in the diagram, okay, that how like one cell divides into two cells. You can see that firstly the genetic material, okay, is to be divided. After that the cytoplasm is to be divided. This type of cell division we call as binary fission. So binary fission can be seen in bacteria. Now come to the next slide. Here you see Protoctista kingdom or kingdom Protista. They are single-celled or unicellular organism. Means if you are going to study their cells, okay, they contain of single cell. Okay, and some Protista, are plant-like, and some are animal-like. Okay, they are chromosome enclosed in a nuclear membrane to form a nucleus. Okay, because they are prokaryotic. Euglena possess of chloroplast and make their food by photosynthesis, often referred to as unicellular plants, or like amoeba and paramecium take in and digest solid food, may be called unicellular, or animals, or like yeah, animals. Okay, now come to the last, like classificatory category, that is virus. See, if you are going to study the virus, you will find only two things are there. Okay, number one, is the outer covering, that is made up of protein, which is called as the uh, capsid protein. Okay, capsid. Yeah, because this protein is made up of capsomere. These are the specific amino acids. And some bacteria have RNA and some bacteria have DNA. So the structure of virus, is very simple. It has no cell wall, no cell membrane, no cytoplasm, no capsular layer. That's what, this virus is not included in any of the kingdom of living things. Even, one group of scientists say that it's a non-living things. Okay, because one group of scientists say that it's a living thing, another group of scientists say it's a non-living thing. So it is between the borderline of living and non-living thing. You can see here, have a central core of RNA and DNA surrounded by a protein coat, and no nucleus, no cytoplasm, no organelles or cell membrane. Virus particles, therefore, are not cells, don't feed, respire, exhale. Means they do not show even a single characteristics of life. For example, if the virus is on the table, okay, it doesn't show even a single characteristics of life. Okay, but when virus enters into any living cells, then it's going to show only one characteristics of life, that is replication or reproduction. Based on these characteristics, a group of scientists say that it's a living things. Okay, but still, its position is contradictory. Okay, it is not included in any of the kingdom. Okay, so it has only, two things: capsid, that is the outer covering, a protein coat, and inside, there is either uh, the RNA is there or DNA is there. So this is about the structure of virus and the position of virus. Okay, so what you have to do, you have to just, have a quick revision. Okay, after that, you have to start the past papers. Okay, when I'm going to just complete all 21 topics, then I'm going to start the past papers. Okay, so this is just a quick revision. Okay, so that, you are going to be familiar with the topics. Okay, so I hope you understand. Okay, if you did understand, you can contact me. Okay, you can WhatsApp me, or you can send me the email. Okay, my email address and my number is mentioned on the screen. Okay, you can also subscribe my channel. Okay, also the same video, you'll find it on the TikTok. Okay, you can also just like it, so that whenever I'm going to just make any video that is related to the education, you are going to find the video uh, without, any payment. Okay, so I hope you are going to just subscribe the channel, and uh, follow and share the videos. Thank you very much. Bye.